Hello guys, it's your boy Nomly from Sweden, and today I'm wearing black because I'm grieving. I'm grieving the loss of a dear friend called Cases, because today CS2 tweeted, beginning March 16th, players in Germany will have an X-ray scanner tab in their inventory. And with this update, CS and Valve may have changed the course of cases and skins in Germany, but also the rest of the European Union and maybe the world. Now, clicking the article leads us here, CS2 X-ray scanner, and I'll explain all the details about the X-ray scanner and how it works. So that means in about a week or so, all the cases in the German players' inventories will be converted to X-ray scanners. That's quite a big change, and I think it's a change coming to way more countries than just Germany. France has already been using the X-ray system for 7 years, and honestly, I never thought another country would add the X-ray system because it was just such a weird Yankee loophole by Valve to fix the situation in France, but apparently I was wrong and it's a system coming to way more countries. Now, what is the X-ray scanner? How does it work? What does this mean for cases in the future? These are all things I'll be going into detail in, but before that, I want to thank today's video sponsor, which is SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is one of the best and easy to use trading sites for CS2, and it's perfect to switch up your loadout to play with new skins. And by using the link in the description or using code ANOMALY, you get a deposit bonus of up to 35%, which is crazy. And if you're doing your first trade on SkinsMonkey, you can put code ANOMALY and get up to $5 for free. Plus, they've got a bunch of extras like freebies for free skins and free balance, and they've also got 24/7 live support. So if you want to try them out, then do so from the link in the description, and thank you once again SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Now, these are clips from one of my old videos when I explained the whole X-ray system, and basically you get a tab in your inventory that says X-ray because X-ray scanners are a completely different type of case. With a normal case, when you go to unlock it, you have to buy the key, then open it, and there's no turning back. But with an X-ray scanner, you will actually see what skin you get before you decide if you want to buy the key or not. If it's a bad skin, like a blue, you can just choose not to buy the key, but if it's a good skin like a knife, yeah, of course, you'd want to buy the key. And yeah, this is crazy. Like, you can literally scan a butterfly emerald before you buy it, and then you see, you know, you pay the key price, and then you get the butterfly emerald. It's insane. So technically, doesn't this mean that you'll always have one case advantage over Valve? Because the last case you go to open, you can just decide if you want to buy it or not. Well, that might not be as much of a life hack as you think, because of course Valve, the greedy bastards, have already thought of that. To maximize profits, Valve made sure that before you're even allowed to open a single X-ray scanner, you have to purchase a non-refundable genuine P250 X-ray. And yeah, that's the exact same price as a case key. And before you start opening these X-ray scanners, you cannot skip the step of buying the P250. Valve force you to buy it. And no, you can't refund it. There's no way around it. If you want to open X-ray scanners, you have to buy the P250. And I have this genuine P250 X-ray. Now, apparently, this account is no longer set to the France Steam store, but I do have the genuine P250 X-ray. And you can see here on the left is the genuine P250 X-ray, and on the right is the normal one, which you can buy for just €1. And there's literally no difference. There's no special stickers. There's no special things with the genuine one, other than the fact that it says genuine. And since the most recent CS update, it doesn't even display in your inventory with a green border, it's just a normal purple border. The only kind of cool thing with it is that it has a float of 0 and a pattern of 0, but because it's not tradable, since it's genuine, it's not really that cool, because it's just forever locked to your account. And everyone that wants to open scanners has to buy one. So yeah, it's not really that cool. But that way, Valve forcing you to buy this P250, it really doesn't matter if the player or you or whoever decides not to open that last case using the X-ray scanner. They're choosing not to buy the key because they've already paid for that key by buying this P250. So even though you might think that you're one case ahead of Valve, you're not. Valve are always one step ahead. So yeah, it's just the exact same, even though you can see the next skin. So basically now, for 7 years in the past, in France, the X-ray scanner have been the only cases available. And from now on in the future, same for Germany. Only X-ray cases available. And I think that's going to be the case for a lot more countries as well. And that just kind of makes cases boring because there's way way less excitement. With X-ray scanners, the case doesn't spin, there's no roll, there's no excitement of seeing the gold symbol, because with X-ray scanners, the gold symbol doesn't exist. If you scan a knife, it just shows you a knife. Me, myself, I've opened a knife from an X-ray scanner, and I can tell you it was so much more boring. The gold symbol doesn't exist. It just slowly scans, and you see it's a knife, and that's it. Very boring. Now, people are probably gonna say, but normally, this only affects Germany and France. You keep saying European Union, why? Well, yes, but not really. In fact, already in the European Union, there's a lot of countries that have changed disabled or limited cases. France has completely removed normal cases and are only using X-ray scanners. And now Germany has also completely disabled normal cases and only rely on X-ray scanners. The Netherlands has completely banned cases, not even X-ray scanners are available. And finally, Belgium too has banned all cases, X-ray scanners not even being available. And quite frankly, now that both Germany and France, by far the biggest countries in the European Union based on population, have changed to only X-ray scanners, I think we're gonna see a lot more of that in other EU countries. The EU are always trying to help and protect their gamers, especially against systems that are exploitative, such as CS cases. And there are so many different motions in the European Union that seek to limit the ways that games can have loot boxes in their games. Like, here's a press release from the European Parliament saying they're urging a ban on gambling-like mechanics such as loot boxes, also prohibiting platforms from monetization or providing financial or material incentives. That's like low-key the Steam market as well. A recurring topic in the European Union is protecting gamers, and especially here they mention the Parliament calls on the European Commission to analyze in which way loot boxes are sold and to take necessary steps to bring a common European approach to ensure protection of customers. And the common European approach might be either a full ban or just X-ray scanners. They also have the huge Digital Fairness Act, which also wants to restrict loot boxes and even pay-to-win features in games. And honestly, there's just so many different angles in the EU that have to be pushing down on Valve that they feel that making changes like X-ray or disabling cases has to be necessary. And for all the people who oppose the conventional casino but are fine with CS2 cases because it's just a video game, maybe you people should read some research papers on the harms of loot boxes and the predatory practices that Valve uses, like for example near misses or awarding cases for free to players to entice them to open them. These are two really good research papers that I've read recently, and honestly I can see why the European Union really wants to crack down on Valve and cases. And it's not only countries in the European Union that seek to disable or limit loot boxes. We have Australia, Canada, we have Germany, of course, in the European Union, we have Korea, Japan, and even China. China does not approve the release of games that contain a compulsion loop, any mechanism designed to lead a player to the use of loot boxes or any gambling-like system. So honestly, maybe it's just a matter of time before China bans CS or Perfect World, because it doesn't seem like it's allowed there. The EU even seek to regulate in-game virtual currencies and want to impose strict regulation on how virtual currencies are presented in games. And for example, here they're saying practices to avoid, and that's showing your balance. For example, here it's diamond, and they show the price of 20 diamond for a set price, or 2,900 diamond for a set price. They don't show the price of individual diamonds. And what does that remind you of? Well, maybe the armory. We can buy these passes and get the stars, and nowhere here on this screen or when you're buying them does it say anything about the individual value of each star or the value of the total stars you have. It just says stars, and that's it. So the whole armory pass system with the stars is something that may need to be changed for the European Union as well in the future. And I mean, my entire last video was about the situation in the US, where the New York State Attorney General is suing Valve for promoting illegal gambling through video games. And they're seeking damages of something like $10 billion or more, which is insane, but it just goes to show that loot boxes are a big problem and a hot topic with governments to discuss and regulate. But now for an important question. what does this mean for skins, their prices, and just how skins are gotten? Because I think in the next few months to couple years, we're gonna see massive changes to the way skins are generated. And it's clear to me that Valve have been aware of this for quite a long time and even made preparation changes for regulations like this. Because they've already made changes like removing all of the old cases from the drop pool. Right now, we only have 4 cases actively dropping, and I think these remaining 4 cases are eventually going to be discontinued and then just changed out for more terminals. And that's because the terminal technically isn't a case. You can see I have a terminal, I'm unsealing it, I still haven't paid anything. Now I get an offer of this skin. Do I want to buy the skin or decline? Well, I can decline and I still haven't paid anything, and if I purchase it, it's not really a case, it's more like just a temporary store similar to Valorant and Fortnite, just inside of the terminal. 26 euro, are you dumb? Hell nah. I think that's also why Valve added the Armory Pass, which is way more of a battle pass system than just straight up cases. And this might work as a loophole for the European Union. Also note how we had 2 cases in the Armory Pass, Gallery and Fever. They removed the Gallery, now we're just left with a Fever. In my opinion, I think they may remove the Fever eventually from the Armory Pass and not replace it with any case. So to quickly answer some questions for the Germans right now who are going to be left with only X-ray scanners, and for future people who might see this video after X-ray scanners have been enabled in their country. If you're scanning a case, you can only scan it once, and you can't scan another case on the side, even if they're different, say a Gallery case or a Fever case. You can only do one at a time. Like I said, yes, everyone has to purchase the genuine P250 X-ray for the price of 1 key. If you already have cases, Valve will convert them to X-ray scanners in your inventory, but if you sell or trade that case to someone who is not in an X-ray region, they will just go back to being normal cases. If you're in an X-ray region or even a fully case disabled region, you can still get your weekly drops. If they're cases, you just can't open them, or they will have to be X-ray if you're in an X-ray region. And if you are in a fully disabled zone, there's nothing you can do really. You can't open cases even using X-ray. You can't open sticker capsules that require a key as well, I think. I guess technically you could change your Steam store region to a region which allows you to open cases, but I wouldn't recommend doing that because you can get banned. It's not worth it. This will also have an effect on the CS market, but I'm not sure how big. And I don't think it's a direct monetary effect, rather a change in the entire concept of skins, the fundamentals of skins. How did you used to get skins? Well, from in-game drops and cases. And how do you get skins now? Well, it's cases and the Armory Pass. But I think in the future, it's going to be terminals and the Armory Pass. We're going to go further and further away from cases because of regulations like this. And Valve's intention with CS2 seems to be the same, because all of the skin collections they're requesting right now are for the Armory Pass. And yeah, that's about it. It saddens me that maybe we're going to be straying away from cases in the future. Maybe CS content in a few years won't be people screaming and opening cases, but rather people scanning their cases or redeeming stars in the Armory Pass. I don't know, but I'm always up for a change. But now, thank you guys for watching. I am going to be going to my Steam, changing my location to Mogadishu so I can open cases. Whoop-ham! Bro, if Valve actually remove cases, I'm just gonna get seasonal depression. There's no way, dude.